You're disciplined, you deliver results. You've been told you're essential, but somehow you're still watching less experienced, louder, less technically skilled colleagues glide past you into the roles you thought you've earned. It feels unfair, right? That's because it is, but not in the way you think. I'm Dr. Fofo, and I've spent over 2 decades in the ever-evolving FMCG sector, working with the giants like Procter & Gamble and Woolworths across regions like Sub-Saharan Africa, Middle East, Europe, India, and now Australia and New Zealand. And in this video, I want to show you the 3 reasons you're probably being overlooked for promotions and the exact shifts that will change how you're seen. Let's get into it. I'll start with reason number 1. You've mastered execution, but not elevation. Being excellent at your job may be the very reason you're stuck in it. And no, that's not a paradox. It's a pattern I see with high performers globally. Here's what happens. You become the person everyone relies on. You always deliver. You make the complex look so easy. Over time, you've become the go-to, the safe pair of hands. And at first, it feels like progress. But then, nothing changes. You're not put forward for stretch roles. You're not invited to strategic conversations. Your name disappears from succession planning discussions. And that's because in many organizations, your reliability has quietly become a liability. You're perceived as indispensable. And while that sounds flattering, it actually creates a risk for your leaders. If they move you into a new role, who will cover the current one? Who knows it as deeply as you? Who will train the next person? No one. And that's the problem. In this context, promoting you feels like a loss, not a win. So they leave you where you are. This is what I call the expert trap. It's when your excellence becomes invisible because it's expected. And it keeps you boxed in as an executor instead of being seen as a scalable leader. So you essentially need to shift from being irreplaceable to engineering your own redundancy. If you want to be promotable, you have to make it safe for the business to promote you. And that means removing yourself as a single point of success. There are 3 things you can do to help you here. Number 1, mentor a successor. Pick someone on your team or in the adjacent team who could shadow aspects of your role. Tell your manager, I'm working on building continuity in my function. You're sending a clear signal. I'm thinking like a leader. Number 2, document your invisible knowledge. So much of what makes you excellent isn't in any system. It's in your head. Start creating SOPs, playbooks, or screen recordings. This not only builds resilience into your role, but also elevates how you're perceived. And that should be as someone who creates scale, not dependency. And number 3, shift from operator to optimizer. Stop just doing. Start designing. Look at your current task and ask, what could be automated, delegated, or improved? Then do it. Leaders notice people who solve problems systematically, not just individually. This shift can feel uncomfortable at first. You might think, what if someone else can do my job? Wouldn't that make me less valuable? Actually, the opposite is true. Value is not in doing the job. It's in enabling the job to be done without you. That's when you free yourself up for the bigger game, strategic influence, cross-functional leadership, and that promotion you are after. The second reason why you may not be getting those promotions is that you're visible for what you do, not what you drive. Let me ask you something. When leadership mentions your name, do they talk about your outputs or your impact? Because in most cases, high performers are recognized for their tasks, but leaders are remembered for their outcomes. And this is where many professionals get stuck. They're known as dependable, not directional, informative, not influential. You might be producing brilliant work, but if it's not being contextualized to broader business outcomes, it's been mentally filed under execution and not strategy. So, you need to shift from reporting tasks to translating impact. That means don't just say, I ran the Q2 campaign. Say, the Q2 campaign increased qualified leads by 38%, unlocking a new client segment that we haven't engaged before. Don't just say, I led the customer satisfaction survey. Say, We identified a retention risk and launched 2 changes that brought our churn rate down by 12% in 90 days. Your language matters because perception drives promotion, and perception is shaped by story, not spreadsheets. So how do you build visibility without self-promotion anxiety? Try what I call the Impact Roundup. Once a month, send a simple, sharp email to key stakeholders. Structure it like this: 1 win, something measurable you contributed to; 1 learning, a challenge you overcame or an insight you gained; and 1 cross-functional nod, someone you collaborated with across teams. I had a high-performing and ambitious client once. He was the highest rated performer on his team, but had never been asked to present at leadership reviews. His belief: my work should speak for itself. The shift? We introduced a 15-minute monthly Impact Roundup email he'll send to his VP and adjacent directors. After 90 days, he was invited to present a roadmap strategy to the C-suite, got tapped to lead a new innovation workstream, and was promoted within 6 months. And all he did was become visible to the right audience. So here's what I want you to remember. It's not enough to deliver value. You must narrate value. Promotions are influenced by who sees your work, but they're decided by how your work is perceived. So elevate the conversation. Let your impact be visible, strategic, and shareable. The last reason I want to touch on is you haven't built the relationships that get you promoted. Let's be real. At a certain level, career advancement stops being about competence. It becomes about confidence, credibility, and the conversations that happen when you're not in the room. And here's what you need to know. Promotions aren't awarded by checklists. They are endorsed through trust. That's why your manager's opinion, while important, is not enough, especially if no one else is advocating for you in succession conversations. This is where the concept of career sponsorship makes all the difference. A career sponsor is a senior leader who actively advocates for your advancement, someone with influence who uses their political capital to get you into rooms, projects, and opportunities that accelerate your career. Unlike a mentor who advises you privately or a coach who helps you grow your skills, a sponsor stakes their reputation on you publicly. They champion you when you're not present. They advocate for your potential in succession discussions, and they often help engineer your next step. When someone at a higher level stakes their reputation on yours, it's because you've shown strategic maturity, clear business impact, and most importantly, consistency under pressure. So how do you build the kind of trust that creates sponsorship? First, engage cross-functionally, not just vertically. Stop trying to impress just your boss and start building strategic relationships with peers, directors, and leaders across the organization. Contribute to their projects. Offer insights on shared challenges. Show that you understand how your work connects to the wider system. A client of mine once said, "I always thought I had to wait for visibility. Turns out I had to generate it." She began leading cross-functional Lunch and Learn series, 1 session per month, each lasting 30 minutes, highlighting overlooked opportunities between departments. It wasn't flashy, but it was thoughtful. By month 3, she was invited to present at the leadership offsite. Second, create moments of credibility. You don't need to chase popularity. You need to design perception points that show how you think. This could be asking bold, thoughtful questions in meetings, sharing a framework or resource that elevates the conversation, or sending a short follow-up email with insight on a shared challenge. These moments are what shape how people experience you and how they speak about you when you're not there. And lastly, operate with consistency. Sponsors don't just want smart, they want safe. Are you the kind of leader who can be trusted with higher stakes? Can you lead through uncertainty, collaborate with grace, and take feedback like a pro? Leadership trust is built less through grand gestures and more through everyday signals of emotional intelligence and execution maturity. When a senior leader sees that, they start thinking, "I could trust them with more." That's when sponsorship begins. Your work matters, but it's your relationships that carry your reputation. So stop waiting to be discovered. Start being trusted. That's what gets people promoted. Now, before I wrap up, I'll leave you with this bonus tip. If you want to be seen as a leader, you need to act like one before the title arrives. That means asking strategic questions in meetings, offering insights beyond your job scope, and showing executive presence. Here's what I want you to remember. Promotions are not a reward for effort. They are a bet on potential. You must reposition yourself from a trusted executor to a strategic leader. You must make your value narratable. Now, if you're ready to shift how you've perceived in your organization and you want a more tailored approach to building leadership presence, visibility, and sponsorship, then let's take this further. I have left a link below for a free discovery call. Otherwise, leave a comment with what resonated most. You've got what it takes, but now it's time to be seen for it. You can also download some helpful resources in the link below. Until I see you in the next video, be unstoppable.